Hello, I'm Antonia Gonzalez with National Native News. Tune in to our headline news service for stories about indigenous communities across the country and around the world. Hear about top concerns facing Native nations. Tribal history, language, and culture is also part of indigenous life. Check out our headline news service to learn more. Tune in here for National Native News.
Weekdays at 5:55 on KSJE Farmington. It's Wednesday morning on KSJE, and Ron Price joins me here in Studio A to give us another lesson about life in the Sandbox that we all share. Morning, Mr. Price.
Good morning, Scott. We should probably explain the Sandbox again every
should.
so often so people will know what's he talking about.
We should, although if they're watching us, I do put under your name the Play Nice in Your Sandbox author. You can't see it, but so I'm pointing at it over here. You have to look off camera to see your name in lights over there. But again, I do try to remind people, why we use that term.
But again, Sandbox is an analogy for life.
Right.
We learn lessons in the Sandbox, how to get along and play nice with others.
Yeah. Sometimes
we took our toys and went home, which didn't bode well for the next time we saw that friend.
Right.
Whatever. But Sandbox is a good analogy for life, and a part of life involves change. One of the scariest words in the English language, I think.
The only constant in life is change, is it not?
You got that right. You got that right.
That's a famous quote from someone, not me. But
somebody, not me either. But conflict is another scary word that we talk about a lot. But, I heard an interesting quote from a local person several years ago, that people do not resist change. And then I remember they paused while everybody wondered, what are you drinking? And he said, nearly as much as people resist being changed.
Oh.
Yeah, a light bulb went off for me. Scott, you can think back to times when you decided to make a change.
Right.
And you probably still have good memories of that and feel good about that.
Yeah, right.
You can also think back to times when people told you you are going to make a change, and you may still harbor resentment towards that. Am I right there as well?
Maybe just a little.
Just a little.
A little.
But again, I think he's right that we don't. If we choose the change, that's one thing. If somebody tells us we have to, that's another. And yet, boy, unless you're independently wealthy and just work all by yourself and live on an island somewhere, you're going to have to change to please other people at times. So I want to bring to your attention some advice from Dan Heath and Chip Heath. I consider them to be two of the finest writers of our day. They wrote Made to Stick, Switch, Decisive, and a few others that don't come to mind just now. But I think it's in the Made to Stick book that they have a model for change that I want to share with you. If you want to bring about a change in your life, you've got to direct the rider, you've got to motivate the elephant, you have to shape the path. Would you agree, Scott?
Yes, I think that sounds correct.
You might want to know what the rider, the elephant, and the path are. I was putting you on the spot there, sorry.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
Okay.
The rider is your thinking brain. You need to know what is the change, and how's it going to come about, and what's the purpose behind it? What's the why behind the change? If you don't know that, it's going to be very difficult. You'll just be going through the motions. You'll be spinning your wheels. You've got to direct the rider, be clear on what the change is, when it's going to happen, who's involved, what have you.
Okay.
But the most important piece might be to motivate the elephant, because the elephant, Scott, is the want to. It's the emotional part of your brain. And they use the analogy that a skilled elephant rider can make the elephant go wherever the elephant is willing to go.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you're sitting on top of I don't know how many ton pachyderm, you can say go there, go there, go there, but if the elephant doesn't want to, yeah, it's not going there. So you've got to have your emotions in place, your motivation in place. You've got to have your want to have the change go about. So direct the rider, know what the change is, motivate yourself, have enough rewards, have enough, yep, this is what I want to do. But then you have to shape the path. All right, how are we going to do this? What are the steps it's going to take? What's the end goal? But then you back up from there. Well, I have to do this by this date. I have to do this. I have to include these people. Direct the rider. Motivate the elephant. Shape the path. You're going to find yourself having change happen in your life much more regularly, much more satisfactorily. Just about guaranteed. Are we charging people to watch this?
We should, but we don't.
Okay, then I'll give a money-back guarantee.
There you go.
If you'll direct the rider, motivate the elephant, shape the path. And again, you may want to read the books by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. They're brothers. Made to Stick, Switch, Decisive. There's a few more that I'm sure you'll enjoy as well.
All right. Because change is coming. Whether we like it or not.
And it often leads to conflict, which again is a key point of what we're talking about here.
Very true. Very true. Thank you, Ron, for sharing the Sandbox with us this morning. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
That's Ron Price. He's with me every Wednesday right here on KSJE Farmington.